So I want to share with you our number one trick that has allowed us to have multi six-figure launches over the last several years. Now, originally when we had our launches, we didn't do that well. We failed miserably. Like back in 2015, 16, when Melissa and I originally put our products and offers out into the world. Now, this is for our real world business as well as in-person business, as well as our online businesses that we did not successfully launch originally. We kind of looked on the outside what other people were doing. We tried to mimic that, but on the outside, we did horrible years ago. We did everything wrong. We did the wrong time of the year. We had the wrong methods. We didn't understand all the extra information behind the scenes. But I want to share with you because a lot has changed over the years. Like when we first did these launches, we failed miserably. And then we learned, through time, there's a super ninja trick. Now, some of you might have already done this before, but I want you to do this through a whole different lens. Now, what we do these days, and I have to say, is even at the level we're at now, we're working towards a seven-figure business again, is per year, is we take a step back and instead of just going and opting in on somebody and watching them go through their launch and actually just sitting there in the consumer seat, we put her at that producer hat on. You hear us talk about this in other contexts, but when you go in and opt into a launch, you have the ability to watch people that are further along than you perform from stage in a way, an online stage. And this is what I want to recommend for you to do. Now, you know that I've been promoting and been talking about, because very openly we talk about this every year, that Melissa and I are one of the top affiliates for several people that are mentors of ours. And one of those mentors is our good friend, Jeff Walker. Now, Jeff has become a really good friend over the last couple of years, as well as one of our top mentors. Melissa and I are in his one of his highest level programs, a mastermind that we're in. We just spent a week with him last week out in Palm Springs, California. And it's just mind blowing being around the room of other people that are investing at that level, right? But here's the thing that I want you to keep in mind. I want you to do, because this is like the thing that's changed the game for us over the last several years when it came to growing our launches over and over again. Somebody like Jeff that has a multi-million dollar launch, like one of the biggest in the industry, right? And he's teaching on launching, that's putting a time promotion out, guiding people in an ethical way that are complete strangers into buying into an incredible program like what all of us would do, right? But where a lot of people forget to look, they get so caught up in the consumer hat is they forget that if you put that producer hat on, you can actually analyze the process itself. Look at his opt-in page. Like, what is he choosing to say and what is he choosing not to say? When you do opt in, what's the next step experience? And I have to say, this year, he added something brand new that I don't think you've ever done before the moment that you opt in. So when you go on that link, this is our link, and again, we're an affiliate. And if you decide later on to invest in this full program, we have an incredible bonus experience. So make sure you tell all your friends or family members. Opportunity to do is over the next couple of days. This is going to start tomorrow live at 4 p.m. Eastern time. He's going to go on about 2 hours each day. And what will end up happening though is he's going to teach the behind the scenes of what you need to do in order to have successful launch. But what I want you to do even more than that is once you opt in, because this is what we do. And I have to say that we're opt in again this year because he's always updating his copy and everything. We want to look at it from a producer lens. So I'm going to let you know what I do. We screen grab his opt-in page. We screen grabbed the next page, which if you haven't opted in this year, you need to see what he's doing next. Because I think it's the future of where online marketing is going, his second page. So after you opt in, you give your email, that second page before you actually land on his console that he has, there's an in-between page there, and it's going to be a game changer. And I think we all need to jump on what that is. So you had to go just to see that, just from a learning experience. But what we also do is then suddenly, now we set up a secondary Gmail account, which is not our everyday account, and we use that for swipe copy. Yes, we opt in on multi-million dollar launches so we can see what are the masters doing, like what are they saying, what are they putting together. And you know what's also cool is when you end up doing that later on in the week when he makes the offer, you're going to get retargeted ads, right? So we screen grab the ads, we screen grab the copy, we want to look at their sales pages, we want to pull the curtain back, the Wizard of Oz curtain back, right? And we want to see actually what's going on. So not just from a consumer standpoint, It's very meta because he's going to launch his product launch formula that he does every year this time of the year. And we, on average, have about 40 to 50 people that come through our bonus experience every year, where we do a lot of one-on-one work through each of the modules through our bonus experience. And again, you can get that if you end up being one of those individuals later on when he makes his offer. But what ends up happening though is you don't even have to, invest in the pay course later on if you don't want to. This is all about you learning through example. Watch somebody doing what they are doing at the top of their game to see how natural, how ethical they can guide people into a buying decision. It doesn't have to be slimy, it doesn't have to be sleazy. It's very open and it's very honest and it's very ethical, just guiding people into that next step. And you had the ability not just to consume the content, because the content in the training is really good, and that's why Melissa and I are going to go back through it. We like don't have anything planned for the weekend just so we can go through this ourselves. But the thing is that we pull back the curtain ourselves and we look at and we kind of do a debrief ourselves and a download, like, oh, did you see, like, he brought this in and he said this at this point, or this is how he introduced himself, this is how he transitioned. Oh, look, like he brought in a case study, like it gave that example that helps handle objections. Like, so pull back the curtain, look at marketing as a process, because a lot of us don't do that. A lot of times we consume, but you have the ability to actually come in with a different lens and look at it from the standpoint of looking at the process itself and appreciating it, because you can ethically guide people into an informed buying decision. And Jeff's one of the best people to do that. It's not slimy, it's not sleazy, it's not hard selling or anything like that. And if you come through our URL right here, the pre-launch masterclass, that gives Melissa and I credit. There's like a little leaderboard thing behind the scenes. It's kind of fun, gamification. If anyone actually purchases through our link later on when he makes an offer, again, he's going to have 10 hours worth of training over the next several days that wouldn't have to invest in anything. We know people that have had really incredible, successful businesses and launched really well just off of his free training that he's doing over the next couple of days. But there'll be a small percentage of people that come through our link that, again, there'll be about 40 to 50. That's what it typically is each year. And we complement. So what ends up happening doesn't cost a nickel more. Jeff is a smart marketer and leans on a group of others that have, people that trust them to guide. And again, we wouldn't be in his mastermind if we didn't believe it, because that Melissa and I are only about ethical selling, and it's all about long-term relationships. And for him to be one of our key mentors in our life speaks volumes, because we don't affiliate with anybody and everybody. We do get approached a lot, but we're very selective on where we put our reputation, our name on. But what I want you to look at is, again, the top secret thing a lot of people don't think of is they come in with a consumer lens. So they're just there to consume and go, oh, I don't know if I can make the replays or this or that. It's like, no. Opt in so you can see what his landing page looks like. So you can look, what's that heading? Like, what's the transformation? What's the statement that he's making? Like that page, that opt-in page right now behind the scenes is converting close to 70%. Think about it. If 70% of the people went onto your landing page and opted in, how big of a difference that would be if, like, right now you're at 20%, like that just simple swing. So what is the language saying on this link? What is he framing? How's he creating the promise? What visual is he using? What color scheme is going on? These are the little bit more advanced things that a lot of us don't think about. And this is your opportunity to lean in, to see it through a producer lens so that you can go through the launch in a different way. Like, what's the timing of the emails? Do they go out at a certain time of the day? What's the hook? What's the headline of the email that you're getting from him during this entire, like, don't opt out during this week. Like, you want to consume and have like a swipe file of incredible copy that are written by, Jeff himself and his copywriting team. Like, this is what you want to look at. You want to screen grab, you want to print out, you want to look at all this. This is a multi-million-dollar launch that happens every year. Like, Jeff teaches, like, he's taught the Stu's and the Michael Hyatts and the Ray Edwards and the Amy Porterfields. They've all been in his programs through the years. He's known, and he is the person that everybody goes to. They always are referencing him, and this is your opportunity. He only does a live launch once a year, and this is an opportunity to see. What's really cool is over the last couple of years, these used to all be pre-recorded videos, and now it's into a a live launch for the last couple of years, and they were really long, right? Because everybody's trying to figure out since the pandemic, like how to navigate and do live launches versus pre-recorded, because you don't want to sound tone deaf or anything like that. So a lot of people in the industry had to shift, and Jeff pioneered that as well. But then what ended up happening as time progressed, everybody has a day to consume things. So he's calling this as espresso style. So it's going to be shortened, but he's also got a hybrid element that a lot of people don't know of. We got privilege of knowing about this, but there's another first. So the number one first you're going to get is when you opt in. His page two, after you get the email address, that page two is where I think the future of opt-ins are going. So just do it just to see what that is, just so you have the ability to do that as well. And number two, he has a hybrid element that he's going to be bringing in later on. So if you're all about Netflix and binging, there's going to be something that's even easier, more consumable than just the lives that he's doing. And you'll have an either or option of doing that once it happens. I probably shouldn't even said that much, but I want you to go through with not a consumer lens anymore. I want you to go through with that producer hat, because you can learn from somebody that's doing the method that they teach. It's a very meta experience. What ends up happening is then you can pull so many lines, when you go to that page each day, like what do you actually see? How is it presented? What order is it in? The case studies, there's nuggets inside those case studies that are like, oh, I can do this with my people, with my business. This is easier to allow people to make that ethical buying decision without having to come up with an extra content piece. So there's so many things, so many elements that you can learn. Now, I want you to keep in mind, and you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and pull that because I have that screen share here. So on my cover image, on all the accounts, you have the ability, if you just want to click a link instead of going there. Now, I did put it into the post here, but when you opt in, I want you to see that page two. I want you to start thinking, how can you utilize that method in your business? Because that is where things are going. A lot of emails aren't landing in the inbox these days. So the step two is like, oh, this is a secondary way of getting people to opt in into something different that'll get right to them and get around those spam filters that are in the email boxes, which I think is really, really important. So, and from there, what you're going to do is, again, when you click over there, I just want you to pay attention. Like, look at this countdown timer right here. That creates scarcity. It creates urgency, right? So if you notice, like little nuances, like you see how Jeff is looking towards the direction, not out of frame, but he's looking towards, he's pointing in. So it drives your eye over to the copy itself, right? Very important to see that. Now, if you look, you don't have to scroll in order to get the button. So many people mess up that. And a lot of people, what they also do is they put like 5 things that you have to, like what's your date of birth, what's your blood type and all that, what's your firstborn child's name. Like he doesn't ask even for your name right out the gate. It's like, put your email in. Like, how simple, how streamlined is that? Like this page right here, you should screen grab this. You should just click on the link, go over there, screen grab this, because now he's giving value. He's got, the transformation in here. I want you to take the time and grab that. And then once you sign up, you're going to then see the page two. I did pull up the tab, but I'm not going to share that tab with you because I want you to go over there and see that for yourself. But you're going to have the swipe copy throughout the launch. So don't opt out during the launch. Going to give you, and I want you to look at the emails because he does give you away. You'll see if you're on our email list, something that we do as well. You don't necessarily want people to opt out of your launch list, as far as unsubscribing when you do launch, because of course when you're launching something, you're going to be a little bit more hitting that, a little bit more assertive, hitting that email send a lot more frequently during a launch process than you would like on your nurturing phases. So you'll notice that in our emails as well, we normally have like underneath the PS, there's a way, instead of people just scrolling all the way to the bottom and unsubscribing because they might want to get your emails, but they don't want to necessarily like get the promotion that you're currently doing. And we do this as well as Jeff does this. Hey, if you don't want to receive any emails for this promotion, now don't click that right now, but I just want you to be aware that's a little technical thing that could save you unsubscribe. So when you are going into a launch, just a little nugget for you, when you're going into a launch, you can create a separate tagging system where your email service provider can, when you do your emails that you're sending out to everybody, and what ends up happening, you can, the people that have that tag after they click that link, they opted out of that particular promotion. So then you're not hitting that part of your list that does not want that current promotion. So you're unsubscribed actually go down incredibly even when you're into a launch mode. So it's little nuances like that that I just want you to pick up on, because a lot of people don't think about that. So I want you to again take your moment and just go through each of the elements and look at when after you opt in, he's got a beautiful page. Now I have to say this page is completely different than what Jeff was doing like 3 or 4 years ago. We came in, there was bubbles at the top and videos released each day, and now he has this more cleaner, like easier, and actually there's like a mini training and setup that's like right there instantly. You don't even have to wait. So I want you to think about that. When people are opting in, even for an online event, are you making them wait several days or a week before they get any information from you? Or are you introducing yourself or getting them warmed up or giving them other things to do? You're going to see different call to actions on his console page. After you opt in, you're going to see he's going to get you to, follow him on in specific places on social media. He's going to give you a hashtag to use right out the gate. Like there's so many ninja things that are happening that I think, again, that's the cool thing about following somebody that's leading the charge, because that means everybody's going to slowly copy them. So if you come in early and you start adopting early, then you'll look like the innovator in your industry. You won't look like the copycat. And that's another thing that we like to do is see who's making the waves, not who's just riding them, and make a determination to leverage like future information. So we're always on the cutting edge ourselves, but you're going to have swipe copy, you're going to have emails, you're going to have ads that are going to be served. You're going to see certain landing pages throughout, different type of messaging. Like you want to copy and paste that, put it into your Evernote or your notes. You want to screen grab. There's so many different opportunities that you have. When there's a long sales page, at least on Apple devices, I go to file and I export as a PDF. So what it does, it captures the entire page as you see it on the screen, and allows me to go back. I put it in a Dropbox folder or a Google Drive folder, and I go back and able to use that later on. So if we need inspiration, we're not going to copycat anybody, but we're just like, oh, that's a great headline. That's a great title. That's a great section. How they displayed like their offer. We're going to use that as a source of motivation. And I think that's what happen when it comes in. So you just need to look at all these opportunities that are sitting there right in front of you, is just taking the time, and instead of going through the launch process that somebody is doing right now, again, like Jeff doing a multi-million-dollar launch, you have the ability to go in and consume it from a producer standpoint and kind of pull the curtain back and look at how he's doing his ads, look at how he's doing his landing pages, look how he's doing his email copy. Like this is a multi-million-dollar launch. Like this is swipe file heaven for you. And if you come through, we are in a competitive situation. We're the small guys that are going against big people that have huge hundreds of thousands of people lists, and we're all about serving fewer, deeper. So we're all about grassroots all the time. So this is our link, and this will forward and give Melissa and I credit to compete on those leaderboards and have fun and the gamification happening behind the scenes. And again, for a select few of you, pretty much it's typically anywhere between 40 to 50 people each year that come through our link. If you make the decision, I mean, it's 10 hours worth of training that Jeff has that you can easily consume. And also he's going to have a bingeable one that's going to be a lot easier to consume as well. That again, I probably shouldn't say that much, but what I want you to do is go ahead and opt in. And what happens is if a few of you, if you're ready, willing, and able this time around, and you invest into his program, and you come through our link, you'll get all of our bonuses. We'll talk about that in a couple days. It's been, everybody raves about it, and even people gone through the program have, even just somebody earlier on today said, I wish I knew about your bonuses because I would have bought through your link. It doesn't cost a nickel more. It's just how they set up these online programs is they want all of us that believe in the program to help send traffic as well. It's an ethical way of telling your friends to make an investment, just like Melissa and I have, and it's changed our lives. So think about the swipe files, think about the opportunities. Even if you've already bought the program before, or if you have no interest in it, you can even watch just the process, watch the emails, the sequences, the time of day things are shared. Look at the ads that are going to be served. Like I would be copying all of those elements because you will learn so much just through going through the experience itself. So we hope to see you there. And if you are a part of any group or organization, or if you have friends that are small business owners that are struggling or that are kind of bought into other programs, but really the whole launch part, they just haven't been able to build their email list properly or be able to launch successfully. If you can share our link to the masterclass, that'll help us, again, from a grassroots standpoint. Specifically, this URL will repoint to our affiliate link. So that if you can specifically share the pre-launch masterclass.com, any help is grateful. We're all about ground level, boots on the ground efforts. Every time that we help out others of our friends, just like you, we always appreciate anyone that's able to help us in return. So hope you're having a great day. Hopefully you got something out of this. Think of those little nuggets that I talked about earlier on. And if you missed it earlier, just give Facebook a minute or two and it'll circle back around. But hope you come and join us in the pre-launch masterclass.com and come through that launch with us. And again, analyze from a producer standpoint, analyze all the goodness that you're going to see, the email copy, the ads. Again, let me pull that up again. We were just on the page, just like that countdown timer creates scarcity and urgency. The 100% free. See how that's headline? So see how he's pointing his face in the pen is pointing in a direction that pulls the eye in that direction to contrast. A lot of us have really busy backgrounds and it's hard to read. Discover the 3-part formula to launch your product, service, membership, or book. Now think about that. He just called out very specific buckets right there, because when people there, they need to know, am I in the right place? Hey, I'm about to launch a book. Is this for me? Oh, I have a product. Does this make sense? Oh, I don't have a product. I have like an online membership. Oh, this makes sense. See, he's calling out those different buckets of people. So they're like, oh, I'm in the right spot. But basically all those buckets kind of cover everybody that has a business. You see that? Product, service, remember? So that could be a pizza place, or somebody, again, that's an author. So it goes through the gambit. So these are little nuggets. These are things you want to think about. So I would screen grab this page. And again, that second page after you opt in, that I think is where the magic is going to be, is that next page. Hope that you got something out of this broadcast. And again, hopefully you can share with a friend. And if they come through, again, that'll just help us out, Melissa and I, in our grassroots efforts as well. The pre-launch masterclass.com. Jeff will be first training tomorrow. That's Friday, October the 28th, 4 p.m. Eastern time. And if you're on a different part of the globe, you're okay. You'll be able to rewatch it. And he's going to kind of have a easier consumable element that he's going to release along the way as well. And again, I just want you to look, like screen grab that page as soon as you opt in, and even the second element that I've been talking about, like that final console page, I would look and opt in, I would copy. There's so many ideas that are going to get your mind buzzing like crazy. Hope all is well, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Go ahead. Now get there. Go to pre-launch masterclass. Since you're still here, go to prelaunchmasterclass.com, and I'll see you on the inside.